Your smartphone. Impressive? But 2,000 years ago, the Han Dynasty invented gadgets that predicted earthquakes, tools that saved your back, even the thing you curse daily, because without them you wouldn't have tax forms, junk mail, or toilet rolls. Welcome to Ancient Civilizations Discovered. From machines that could sense earthquakes to lanterns that floated in the sky, the Han Dynasty, 206 BC to 220 AD, came up with ideas that changed history. In this video, we're looking at 10 brilliant Han inventions that are still part of our world and occasionally still ruining our weekends. And before we get started, make sure to like and subscribe, otherwise you'll miss the final invention, the one that makes tax forms, junk mail and toilet rolls possible. Yes, you'll want to thank or curse the Han for that. Number 10. The seismograph. In 132 AD, the polymath Zhang Heng engineered the earliest known seismograph, a monumental bronze vessel decorated with dragon heads, each grasping a ball. At its core was a lever system tuned to ground tremors. When the earth shook, the correct dragon dropped its ball into a waiting toad, announcing not only the quake, but its direction. Modern seismographs use electronics, sensors, and people in lab coats who charge by the hour, but Zhang got there first. Think of it as the world's first earthquake app, only with fewer push notifications and a lot more bronze dragons. And unlike your apps, it never crashed unless the earth really did. Number 9. The crossbow trigger mechanism. The Han refined the crossbow with a bronze trigger system that made it simple enough for a farmer drafted last week to use effectively. Suddenly, precision wasn't just for elites, it was mass-produced. The principle, releasing stored energy through a controlled mechanism, shows up later in firearms, which means this little invention is the distant ancestor of everything from muskets to modern rifles. And of course, modern rifles gave us airport security lines. So, in a roundabout way, you can thank the Han every time you're standing barefoot, waiting for someone to confiscate your nail clippers. Progress is wonderful, isn't it? Number 8. The wheelbarrow. The wheelbarrow multiplied what one person could carry, saving countless sore backs and even more foul moods. One wheel, 2 handles, and suddenly farmers, builders, and soldiers could haul loads that once needed entire teams. Ever tried lugging a sack of compost, paving slabs, or an IKEA flat pack up the drive? Thank the Han. They made sure bad backs weren't just for middle age, they were democratized centuries ago. And let's be honest, no invention screams middle-aged domestic Saturday chore more than this one. Right down to the squeaky wheel you keep promising to oil but never do. Number 7. Acupuncture. The Han took the earlier practice of acupuncture and turned it into a full system, complete with charts, medical texts, and enough needles to terrify even the bravest patient. They believed that carefully placing these needles along invisible energy pathways, or qi, could restore balance and health. Strangely enough, people today still pay good money to be stabbed with needles. Only now, it happens in minimalist clinics with whale music playing in the background. The Han worked out 2,000 years ago that stabbing you in the right places might actually make you feel better. National Health Service waiting lists take note. At least with acupuncture, you get results in under 2 years and without being told to just take paracetamol and rest. Number 6. The harness and horse collar. Before the Han, horses pulling loads basically choked themselves. Every journey was like an equine strangulation act, which didn't do much for efficiency. The Han fixed that by redesigning the harness to spread weight across the chest and shoulders, letting animals pull more without suffocating. Overnight, farming, trade, and warfare all became faster and easier, powered by horses that could finally breathe while they worked. Finally, a system that didn't strangle the horse, though modern bureaucracy still strangles us just fine. The horse collar gave horsepower. Bureaucracy just drains yours, usually along with your will to live. Number 5. The hot air balloon, Kongming lanterns. Han commanders used small paper lanterns with a flame inside to send glowing messages across the night sky. Today, they drift up at weddings and festivals as symbols of hope and romance. Back then, they were less make a wish and more the enemy is coming, get your act together. In other words, ancient WhatsApp, minus the typing bubbles, emojis, and your uncle spamming the family group chat. And stay tuned, because the last invention on this list is so massive that without it, you wouldn't even be watching this video. You wouldn't be paying your bills, signing contracts, or crumpling receipts into your pocket. And yes, you wouldn't be wiping your, well, you get the picture. It's the single most useful thing you can't live without, and also the one you grumble about daily. Number 4. Cast iron and steel advances. The Han perfected blast furnaces, making stronger iron and even early steel. This meant better tools, sharper ploughs, sturdier weapons and cookware tough enough to survive more than one angry cook. Their innovations weren't just about keeping the empire armed, they also made everyday life a little less miserable for farmers and households alike. So every time you fry bacon in a pan or drive across a steel bridge on your way to buy more bacon, raise a toast to Han metallurgy. They built the skeleton of the modern world and your kitchenware. Not bad for a dynasty that never had to deal with rusted garden chairs, flat-pack furniture, or the joy of replacing a barbecue every 3 summers because British rain eats through the metal. Number 3. The magnetic compass. Han scientists made a lodestone spoon that always pointed south, no matter how many times you spun it around. At first, it was less about helping travelers and more about fortune-telling, because obviously when you've invented a miracle rock that points one way, the best use for it is predicting your future love life. Later though, someone had the bright idea to use it for actual navigation, and suddenly this quirky spoon became the backbone of global exploration. Basically, it was ancient Google Maps, though still less confusing than Apple Maps, which can't even get you to the nearest petrol station without a detour through a swamp. Without the Han compass, sailors would have been stuck circling the block, arguing with their spouses about who forgot the map, or worse, drifting off the edge of the known world, muttering, "I told you we should have turned left." Number 2. Standardized bureaucracy and record keeping. Han officials loved paperwork. They recorded harvests, census data, and taxes with a passion that would make your local DMV proud, and probably a little jealous. They even created exams to hire officials on merit instead of family connections, a forward-thinking idea that also guaranteed generations of stressed-out students. 2,000 years later, we're still stuck with their legacy. Forms that never end, queues that move at the speed of paint drying, and the endless joy of missing documents that were probably misplaced on purpose. Somewhere, a Han bureaucrat is laughing, sipping tea, and enjoying the chaos. And honestly, if paperwork is eternal, the Han deserve the credit or the blame, or maybe both, depending on whether you just passed an exam or lost your tax return. Number 1. Paper. In 105 AD, Kai Lun refined papermaking from bark, hemp, and rags. Unlike the clunky bamboo slips or ridiculously expensive silk, this new material was light, cheap, and easy to produce in bulk. Suddenly, storing and spreading knowledge became practical, efficient, and annoyingly permanent. Without paper, there would be no books, no newspapers, no Shakespeare, no Harry Potter, no contracts, no post-it notes, and, most tragically, no toilet rolls. Civilization's greatest blessing, and its greatest curse, was delivered courtesy of the Han. They gave us poetry and philosophy, but also receipts, parking tickets, and those instruction manuals you never read. So yes, you can blame Kai Lun for tax forms and junk mail, but you can also thank him for love letters, lottery tickets, and crossword puzzles. Paper gave us the means to record the highest thoughts of humanity, and also to write out-of-order signs on public toilets. You might curse it every time you open your bills, but you'll thank it when nature calls. Taken together, these inventions show the Han weren't just running an empire, they were shaping the future. From earthquake detectors to bacon pans to bureaucracy, their fingerprints are all over modern life. So hit like, smash subscribe, and check out our other videos. Otherwise, the next Han bureaucrat will personally deliver a stack of paperwork to your door. And you know how that ends. Badly, with tea gone cold and patience long gone.